7 piano brands make this list, all carrying names that sound unmistakably German. But behind the heritage dates and elegant labels, the manufacturing truth tells a very different story. From revived 19th century trademarks to names engineered purely for phonetic prestige, each entry reveals how far the gap between branding and origin can stretch. We start with a Chinese factory producing over 100,000 instruments a year. Number 1, Hailun Piano Group demonstrates how massive Chinese production underpins the illusion of European branding. Founded in Ningbo in 1986 as a parts supplier, Hailun shifted to assembling full pianos by 2000, rapidly expanding into one of the world's largest factories. Today, the plant covers over 400,000 square feet, employs more than 800 workers, and consistently produces upwards of 100,000 pianos each year, an output that rivals any global competitor. The Wendell and Lung brand, with its Viennese roots dating back to 1910, began rolling off Hailun's assembly line in 2003. While marketing materials highlight technical input from European partners and reference Vienna in the branding, every instrument is built entirely in China. This approach relies on the power of a Germanic name to command higher prices and consumer trust, while the true origin remains rooted in Chinese industrial scale. Hailun's story sets the tone for the list, a European-sounding label layered over unmistakably Chinese manufacturing, all at a volume that shapes the modern piano market. In second place, Pearl River Piano Group demonstrates how a genuine German legacy can be leveraged to powerful effect, even when the instruments themselves are built far from Europe. Established in Guangzhou in 1956, Pearl River now stands as the world's largest piano manufacturer, with annual production exceeding 100,000 pianos. The company's 2009 acquisition of the Rittmuller name marked a strategic shift. Rather than inventing a German-sounding label, Pearl River revived a brand founded in Göttingen in 1795, an authentic heritage that carries real historical weight. Marketing materials for Rittmuller highlight this origin story, referencing the year 1795 and the brand's German roots, yet omit any mention of the modern manufacturing location. Every Rittmuller piano is assembled on Pearl River's massive factory floor in Guangzhou, alongside the company's other brands. The power of this approach lies in the emotional resonance of a true legacy. Buyers see a storied name, a heritage timeline, and often pay a premium, sometimes double or triple the price of a standard Pearl River instrument. Technician reports and consumer forums confirm that serial numbers and hidden factory stamps inside Rittmuller pianos trace directly to China. The result is a product whose prestige and price are anchored in German history, while the reality of production is entirely Chinese. Third on our list, Perzina occupies a complex middle ground between authentic German heritage and modern Chinese manufacturing. Founded in Schwerin in 1871, Perzina built its reputation as a respected German maker through the early 20th century. The real shift came in the 1990s, when production moved to Yantai, China, under the ownership of Yantai Perzina Piano Manufacturing. Today, every Perzina piano is assembled in Shandong, yet the marketing continues to emphasize the brand's German roots. Dealers frequently describe these instruments as German-engineered, leaning on the legacy of the original workshop while providing minimal disclosure about the actual place of manufacture. This blend of old-world branding and new-world production can make it especially difficult for buyers to determine what they're really purchasing. Technicians and forum users often report discovering the truth only after the fact, by tracing serial numbers or uncovering factory stamps hidden inside the cabinet. Perzina's story highlights how a genuine European origin can be transformed into a selling point, even when the instrument itself is a product of China's industrial scale. Number 4. Geber. Niendorf offers a lesson in how branding alone can shape perception. The use of Geber immediately evokes the image of a centuries-old family workshop, yet the reality is far removed from this impression. Today, the Niendorf label is produced in Chinese factories under the ownership of the Shanghai-based Eurasian Piano Company, Online listings and retailer sites feature the Germanic name prominently in headlines and product descriptions, inviting buyers to associate the instrument with European tradition. However, the actual country of manufacture is often relegated to the fine print, buried deep in technical specifications or hidden at the bottom of the page. For many shoppers, the headline identity is all they see, leaving the true origin obscured unless a careful search is made. Geber. Niendorf stands out not for an elaborate heritage narrative, but for how effectively a name and selective disclosure can persuade buyers without ever mentioning the factory floor in China. Number 5. Karl Ebel illustrates how a name alone can shape perception. The label carries a distinctly German sound, echoing the prestige of storied brands like C. Bechstein, yet there is no historic German workshop or documented lineage behind it. Production shifted to China in the 1990s, with instruments now manufactured in the Yantai Longfeng factory, which also produces other rebranded lines. These pianos are built using cost-effective methods, including MDF components, and typically retail for 2,500 to 3,000 euros, a clear signal of their budget status. The strategy hinges on phonetic association. Buyers see a name that looks and sounds German, and the low price point makes the idea of owning a European-style instrument seem attainable. There are no claims of revived heritage, designer input, or technical partnerships, just a familiar-sounding label that does the heavy lifting. Karl Ebel stands out for how effectively it uses suggestion, rather than substance, to evoke German quality while delivering a distinctly Chinese-made product. Number 6. Kaiserberg stands as the most polished example of how German branding and design language can be used to elevate a Chinese-made piano into the premium segment. Launched by Pearl River in 2007, Kaiserberg was conceived as a flagship line, with Swiss designer Lothar Thoma brought in to craft its identity. Marketing materials highlight Thoma's ties to respected German makers, and the brand leans heavily on phrases like German design and European sound, framing the instrument as a true rival to established European pianos. Yet every Kaiserberg is built on the factory floor in Guangzhou, alongside Pearl River's mass-market models. Pricing tells the story. Kaiserberg Grands and Uprights routinely list between $10,000 and $30,000 or more, targeting buyers who expect European pedigree. The real distinction lies in the legal and marketing loophole, the so-called German design. Under international regulations, a single foreign consultant's input can justify the label even when 99% of the materials, labor, and assembly come from China. This approach allows Kaiserberg to compete in the same mental space as German-built brands, while the true origin is disclosed only in fine print. For consumers, Kaiserberg reveals how a carefully constructed narrative, designer endorsement, and selective language can transform a Chinese product into a high-end German piano in the eyes of the market. And finally, in first place, Steingräber & Söhne stands as the rare example of a piano company that delivers exactly what its name promises: authentic, small-batch German craftsmanship. Founded in 1852 and still operating out of Bayreuth, Germany, Steingräber produces fewer than 100 grand pianos and about 60 uprights each year. Every stage, from wood selection to final voicing, is handled by a handful of master builders working within the historic Steingräber house. Unlike the mass-market brands that leverage Germanic-sounding names or heritage claims while outsourcing production to China, Steingräber's output remains boutique by design, transparent, expensive, and rooted in a continuous family tradition. There is no marketing sleight of hand, no fine print, and no need for qualified language. For buyers, the difference is visible in every detail: shellac finishes, bespoke casework, and a direct connection to the workshop's Bayreuth origins. In a world where most German pianos are built on Chinese assembly lines, Steingräber & Söhne serves as the benchmark for what genuine German manufacture looks and feels like: rare, costly, and unmistakably real. Across all 7 brands, one pattern stands out. German names and heritage claims often mask Chinese mass production. Today, Branding and language blur the line between legacy and reality, leaving buyers paying for a story, not authentic origin. In pianos, truth is rarely on the label.